Hi everyone, my name is Awanita Kayombo and I am a student pursuing a bachelor's degree in psychology. If you watched my previous two videos in May, I was talking about mental health since it was Mental Health Awareness Month. So I shedded some light on the few basic mental disorders that we have in society and just gave a brief explanation to what they are: depression, anxiety, OCD, and the like. So today, with that being said, today I would love to shed some light and talk about mental health in learning institutions. The learning institutions that we have are colleges, universities, and high school. I want to shed some light on the learning institutions because I have been to high school, and pretty much everyone has, and most of us, or some of us rather, are in college, university, and I'm just shedding some light on the realities that we see, or we may see, but we tend to ignore them because maybe our lives are just too busy and we have so much going on. So today, in conjunction with Juanita's Diary, that is my YouTube channel, and me who's on a path to becoming a mental and emotional health advocate, I would love to talk about nothing else about mental health, the things that we do see in our learning institutions. So forgive me, but I'll be using my notebook. Sorry guys, but I don't want to miss anything that I have to say and the points that I have. So forgive me, but I'm going to be reading some things which are very important from the book. And guys, as I've said, it's in conjunction with my YouTube channel. Kindly click on the link and subscribe just in case you want to watch it again, or you want to refer it to someone to watch, a friend, a family member. Feel free to click on my YouTube channel above. So without wasting much of your time, let's go into the points that I have for you. So the first one is envy. This is one thing that happens in universities. It is wrong to envy, but it happens to the best of us. So this point simply means I feel we all envy. It's not about what we don't have, but it's what we aim to have as individuals in these institutions. We may want to be the number one. We want to be the best at something. We want to be the best maybe academically, or you want to be good at something. So we tend to have envy, not from just what others have, but from what others are accomplishing. It may be a prefect in school, it may be a president of a club or something that makes you envy. And envy gets to our head. It's wrong to envy, but it happens to the best of us because we just want to perform our level best. So envy leads to a lot of mental illusions and delusions. We would want to be something or have something that we can't have. So envy is bad, but it happens to the best of us because we want to accomplish what another individual wants to have. Mwai Shibaka, that kind of thing. And then we'll talk about socializing in these institutions. We find that we have extroverts, introverts, and a core between an extrovert and an introvert. They can be silent and they can be social. So we find that fitting in our institutions, it's hard sometimes because we are out here in the sense of there is peer pressure, there is wanting to date people. You may find that in a group of friends, you find that all your friends are dating and you're like the odd one out. So that's where the peer pressure will come in the dating part. And then you also want to find a circle that understands you. You want to find a group of friends. Either you want to be popular, you want to be known because Mauso is doing that. You want to fit in. This is one thing which is so hard for students and pupils in these institutions. It's so hard to socialize. What people don't realize is that socializing is hard because you want to have people that understand you and can relate to you, and you won't feel judged. This is what happens in the learning institutions that we're in. Socializing, people may think socializing is simple. You go to class, maybe someone will talk to you, when in reality we are all going through so much, and people find it hard to open up to people because they don't trust them, or they don't feel like someone will understand them. So socializing is a very, very big thing that we need to work on. I don't know how, because we are different people, but socializing is hard. Whether you want to make friends, you want to date, the peer pressure of you going to a new institution. I'll give an example of universities and colleges. You go there, maybe your friends say, let us go out on a Friday. The pressure of you wanting to drink, trying out new things, experiencing things, also takes a toll on us mentally, because it's like, I can't do that. There are some people out there who can't break their moral values nor standards for anyone else, and that's okay. By me, that's fine. I mean, do as you please. Don't do what the crowd is doing. Do you? But in as much as that is said, socializing is very hard. Making friends, dating, peer pressure is real, but that is very mentally, that's straining. And eating disorders, we may not know this, or others may know it. People have eating disorders in university, in high school. I'll explain this in the sense that we find that we're in these institutions and we see, oh, I'll give an example. Maybe Maggie's body, maybe Maggie has a body that I want, and I, as Juanita, wants to have a body like Maggie. So what does Juanita do? I'll start weird eating habits to acquire a body that is not mine. So these eating disorders, we have anorexia. This means that someone eats less. They will go to the weirdest things that you can think of. They won't eat. They'll be vomiting, forcing themselves to vomit. When initially, they'll go to the weird extremes just for them to lose weight or to gain weight. So we have the eating disorders that we have. I've mentioned one. We have anorexia, and we have binge eating. I think we are all victims to this binge eating, where maybe you're stressed or something, then you eat so much, then you eat more than you should be eating due to stress. I think binge eating and stress eating are one and the same. We are all guilty. And bulimia is simply eating more than you should, then finding ways, there are weird eating disorders that a lot of us do, that we just don't understand, or we may just drive it out and say, this and that and that. But these are things that happened. I think even friends in school, we've observed there are certain people that they'll do the weirdest things just to lose weight or to gain weight. This is what we call as eating disorders. These are eating disorders that come about. It's a mental health condition, because people go to the extreme length just to do the muevantu. No. Oh well. Anyway, another condition is depression. I think we've seen the rising cases, the number of cases that are rising in terms of suicide, guys. I feel like it's time that people realize that their mental health is everything, guys. The level at which suicide cases, I think it was just last week when we saw one student from Unza who committed suicide. I don't know what the reason was or what the causes were, but it's very sad to see that young people are not open about their problems. In a world that's changing, or in an African setup that is changing, we should have a feeling or sense of feeling to know that you can talk about how you're feeling or what is going on. but you find that in the depression is real. And if you know someone that is going through depression, please seek medical help. And if you have a friend, I feel like we should all have a venting ear to listen to our friends, to our family members. It's time that we change the narrative, guys, and we give ourselves time. We're all going through things. Suicide is not the only option. And it's sad. It's really sad to see young people taking their lives. We have so much potential to do great things, but at the rate that things are going, it's time that we start opening up to the right people and trusting one another. Then another one is in mental health is something that I feel like all of us are fighting with anxiety in one way or another. Everyone fights with anxiety, especially when it comes to these learning institutions. You find that we are so anxious when it comes to results. We are so anxious when it comes to getting the best grades. We are so anxious when it comes to applying for the best university, to do the best course that there is. The anxiousness builds. I feel like as we grow, anxiety, I feel like it's a big part of everyone, because we have anxiety in everything that we do. It may be academic stress, it may be finding a job, it may be acquiring the best grades. Anxiousness is something that we can't run away from, but we can fight it if we have safe ways of concentrating and meditating. And there are so many ways of fighting anxiety, but we are just so anxious and we're so focused and so determined on doing these things that we forget the feeling or just the thought of. I feel like anxiousness in a learning institution is all about us wanting the best grade for ourselves. I'll give an example of our CAs, our CAs, to my fellow students out there. You know how it is. Paka utengeche 30 out of 40 or 20 out of 40, whatever the number may be, as long as it's 2 digits. Kunkala na CA ya mushe. Oh gosh. Anyway, I think we know that stress, because if your CA is alright, it's not a guarantee that you're going to pass your exam, no. But you have hope from where to start from. But CA makosa. Hey, next step. I feel as friends, with people who have friends, or us, we all have friends. I think we all have friends. Let's learn to listen to our friends. It's not always about, no, this is what you're crying about. In Bemba, there's a saying that goes like, "Ich kalipa chumfomwine." So we shouldn't be people that are too quick to judge. I feel like a listening ear is the best ear. Friends, let's learn to listen. I'm going to read a scripture from the Bible about this same verse, about friends learning to listen. It's coming from Proverbs 17, verse 17. And it says, "A true friend shows love at all times and is a brother who is born for times of distress." And which is true. I feel like at the end of the day, we should be friends keepers. The thing is that we may want to reach out to our friends sometimes, but it becomes so hard because we don't know what our friend is thinking about, or rather what they are all about. This is why I'm going to say we all go through so much and we don't realize what the other person is going through. So it becomes so hard and so difficult to reach out to some of our friends because we don't know what they're going through. And even when we try to reach out, it's a lot. Mental health is one thing that I feel all of us are trying to warm up to, and it's taking time and steps, because you find that our friends do want to open up to us, but it's a level of trust that they don't have. And then if we are also trying to be helpful, I feel like it's best if we just listen. Don't judge, just let your friend talk. So let's learn to be good friends, and let's also learn to open up. And then my last point is seeking guidance and counseling. You know, at most of our institutions, they all have a guidance office and counseling. Yes, we all do. We all have them. But we are just so... Guys, I feel like there's a stigma of not trusting people and a stigma of not opening up. But these services are provided at every institution, and these services are given everywhere. There is a guidance and counseling office for us to seek advice, to talk to someone if we're going through so much. The thing what we don't realize that we go through so much, and so many people have been let down. I have to be honest. I spoke to some people last semester about, do you know, just some random strangers, do you know their counseling services at school? And they're like, yeah, we do know that, but then their response, or rather their reply, was negative, because people don't trust counseling officers, whether they may be higher officials. They don't trust them because there is a lot of judgment. To what the feedback that I got, people have a lot of traumatizing experiences with people that they seek or see as higher people of counsel. So I feel like we need to start trusting, and I feel like in these guidance counseling places, we have to put people that are neutral, and we also have to break the stigma of not trusting them or feeling like they are going to do something that is off. So I feel like mental health, yet again, is something that people are opening up to, and people are realizing that, okay, I may have this problem, this is where I'm going wrong, or this is how I'm feeling. So with time, as we head to the future, I hope people open up and are willing to talk about how they feel, express themselves, seek help where it's needed, and let's not brush how we feel alone as individuals and what other people are feeling. It's also a self-encouragement to be strong, because you can overcome anything that you go through. So like I've talked about envy, fitting in, eating disorders, depression, anxiety, friends listening, seeking a counselor or guidance from the higher officers to help us. So in conclusion, guys, your mental health matters. It always has mattered. It's going to matter today, tomorrow, next week, next year, because it's all about you, your mental health. And shout out to the people that I've tagged in here, because they are also a big movement. I've followed their pages, and I hope they give me feedback, please. Hopefully they do. I've tagged, you know, they are very vocal when it comes to mental health. So guys, yet again, it's me, your girl, Juanita Kayombo, a student pursuing the bachelor's degree psychology. Hopefully we get to the finish line. Thanks for listening. Your mental health matters. Thank you.